Hello everyone, my name's Bob Mitch and welcome back to another Star Citizen video. Once again it's been a hot minute, mainly because we haven't had that many Star Citizen releases coming out. We had the other patch, which I do still have to do a lot of content through. I just really haven't had time, but I really wanted to make a video on this. This is obviously quite important because it's the update to the latest 3.11 patch. This is the Crusader Mercury Star Runner, and a lot of people are going to be very happy that this thing has finally come out. As many people as the Carrack, I imagine. So, I'm currently flying around Calliope, I hope I pronounced that correctly again, just to see how this thing flies, and it's quite manoeuvrable. I just wanted to do this to try and get some external shots to show what this thing looks like, although I imagine that at this point I don't need to, because those who are in the know will know that this looks like a very cool looking ship. It's not symmetric, it's very asymmetrical, and I do love that because lots of the Star Citizen ships, are meant to be reflected equally on both sides the way they look, but the Crusader Star Runner takes away from that. So we're going to bring this thing down and we're going to have a look around because it's a very interesting ship inside as well as outside. In fact, it's one of the most complete ships that we have in the game at the minute. You'll see why shortly if you haven't already looked around one of these things. So it's wave 1 PTU. Is it wave 1? I think the wave is actually opened now, so it's not wave 1. I'll take that back. But it's now been enabled so that anyone who owns the Star Runner can use one and fly around in one, and I have had one for quite some time now. I had it as part of an upgrade package that I upgraded a long time ago. I just obviously haven't used it because we haven't had the Star Runner to use on the game itself. So we'll turn the engines off, and as you can see you've got this current white colour scheme at the moment. The pilot has 2 forward operating cannons, as you can see here. There's 2 missile bays underneath, and I think there's another bunch as well. So there's lots and lots of firepower on this thing. 2 turrets, 1 top and 1 bottom that I think you can just see underneath there. So this thing packs a good amount of firepower and it's quite manoeuvrable. The main reason for this is that unofficially, this is kind of meant to allude to be Star Citizen's Millennium Falcon, and it certainly kind of falls into that category. It's about the same size. I think it's a little bit shorter than a Constellation, so it's around 90 meters long, sort of 94, 95 meters long. But we'll step back and we'll go and have a look around. You can see in the bridge, you have 2 seats, you have a pilot and a co-pilot, and it should be noted that there's lots of different functions that you can do in here now. So in the Star Runner, you can turn lights on and lights off. As you can see, now it's all gone dark. So the compartments have individual lighting switches now in the Star Runner. Obviously this is something that's going to be passed down to other ships as they get updated, but the Star Runner is the first one to introduce this. Also we have door closing things. So on here you can see you have open and close, but you also have a lock, so you can lock the doors for security reasons, and you can also turn the sensors on and off. So the sensor is just an automatic sensor, so that when I walk up to it the door will unlock and open. He said, as it didn't, because it's PTU and everything is still breaking. There we go, now the sensor's working. But yes, you can turn the sensors on and off, so these work independently now. You can do them for pretty much every door in the ship. As you can see, if I come back to the rear of the bridge section, the bridge neck, you can see that one's got one as well. So now we're in like the second of 2 intersections that are in the ship. So you've got some gun storage here, and then this is through the main bridge corridor, which is this area here. On the right as you come in, you have habitation, and on the left you have recreation. So we'll go in habitation first, and habitation is fairly simple and Spartan, but it is what you need for some just simple space travel, which is what the Mercury Star Runner is for. It's not meant to be convoluted or, aimed at anything specific, although it is meant to be a sort of data running ship. So you have some terminals that your crew can use to do things throughout their day. You've got some storage space. You have more sensors and things, you can see. If I can do these, you have showers and toilets on either side. You have some storage lockers for your crew, and you have 3 bunks. That's it. There's no captain's quarters, nothing fancy like that on here. Just standard bunks for your crew members, and some more what I assume will be storage. So as you can see, fairly Spartan, but just what you need in here. There's no massive luxury, even though it does look fairly clean. So moving along, we have recreation, which does feel sort of evoking the long sweeping seats that the Millennium Falcon had in it in Star Wars. You can see you've got a canteen, you have a speaker system, and you've got sort of food and water making facilities and some storage for such, and then a chessboard. And the cool thing about this is you can individually pick the pieces up and play chess if you want to. So another little fun feature complete as such way to play games on here. Obviously the chess is going to be clunky due to the physics of Star Citizen and how it works, although it does work. It's just going to take a bit of time. We'll be coming back to this in a minute because there's something very special about this I'm sure many of you know about already. Going back into the server room, we can take a step back, and this is the main sort of intersection, if you like. So you have all these servers because the Crusader Star Runner is meant to be like a data running ship, meant to steal information and then run a long way with it, and that's to store all this information on these servers. But that's not to say it isn't a bad ship for anything else, because if you see, you come in here to the scanning room and there's a big dish that you may have seen on top, and that's what this is for. It doesn't do much at the minute, it's kind of like another co-pilot seat, but it in the future I imagine it will be for some secure data scanning, and maybe, you know, to at the end of the day a good way to transmit and steal all the data that's being thrown on those servers. More lock switches and sensors, as you can see, and there is another fun little bit at the end there that we'll go to again in a moment. Back to the servers and back along to the bridge neck, and here is the turret seats. So as you can see, turret up and turret down. These will take you into the manned turrets. They are manned turrets, you can't control them from the bridge, you have to have someone sat in them. And going back one more step, the lift in here for some reason is broken for me. There's a button here to do it, but in this current one that I'm in, there's meant to be a panel here that you can touch, but it doesn't work, so I kind of have to jank and jump up. Not that it's a big problem, just a bit annoying. I think my only sort of critic of this ship is that it didn't need this lift. This lift is kind of pointless. It could have just used some stairs, it really doesn't need it. So, cargo space, lots and lots and lots of cargo space. I believe it's 114 SCU, so there's plenty of cargo space in here. And this is how you get in and out of the ship. So if I go over here, again, more switches to open and close doors. And another light switch, and you can see I can go out onto the very harsh surface of Calliope, which I'm not going to do because I wouldn't last very long. And there we go, secure again. And if we go to the left here, you can see we have an engineering section. Again, something that's very Spartan, but you can just see you can lift all these access panels up, and you can access the components for when we do have the ability to change or repair components. Again, very simple, very Spartan, and just what you need. Nothing else, nothing, no bells and whistles. So that's a tour of the main interior of the ship. I say the main interior of the ship because this ship has a party piece that I imagine is going to be very fun for some organisation games. So, the Millennium Falcon had a hidden cargo area. As we know, if you've seen the Star Wars films, be they the old trilogy or the new trilogy, not the prequel trilogy, then you know that characters like Han and Chewie and Rey and everybody hid underneath. And this ship has the same kind of thing. The coolest way to get into these, because there is multiple entrances that do this, is actually using the chessboard. So what you need to do is you need to grab the white queen. It has to be the white queen, as you can see in my character's hand here, and you can slap it down on this coaster, and the table swings out the way, and then you can jump into what are essentially like Jeffrey's tubes from Star Trek. And if we crouch, you can see we're in a whole underlevel in the ship, and as you go through you can tell which area that you're going to, but you can crawl all the way through this awesome little Jeffrey's tube system that runs along the entirety of the ship, so this takes you everywhere. So one in scanning, this takes you up to the floor that was near the scanning chair. We make our way around a bit more, and you just have to keep an eye out for where you can get out, because they're even walking down here, they're quite well hidden. And another one over there. It's a little bit of a maze. Servers, so that's back up into the main server room where all those server banks were. And crawl along a bit more. Oh, I reached a dead end. Sudden caution of air vent. I don't actually know if there's one here. It doesn't look like it, does it? This just seems to be a dead end. I have to admit, I've not really looked around that much, so I don't know my way around this underlevel yet. I'm still exploring it because I think it's quite cool. Recreation, that's where we came in. Okie dokie. So we'll just go around again. I'll go the other way this time. But I do love that they've got all these little greebles of the interiors of the ship that you're sneaking around, and you have to be careful. You may have to be careful, you know. You stick your arm in the wrong place, you could end up zapping yourself from a component. If things are damaged, or, you know, the ship is crashing, this could be a very dangerous place to be, but it could also be a way to board the ship and sneak around and take out people. Habitation. In habitation. We'll stand up in. And you can see now I'm in the crew quarters with one of these panels in the floor. How cool is that? And if we go back, the main party piece is that inside this here, so this is still part of the Jeffries tube system, as you can see, you have cargo plates. So what you've got here are essentially hidden cargo plates. I don't know if these are going to be sort of undetectable, as the same kind of premise as that the Constellation Phoenix has got its secret little underdeck that's supposed to be shielded and not scanned, so that scanning ships can't detect what cargo you have. But at the minute it's all just part of the main cargo bay, and in here you can see you've got another switch for lights. But if we do this, you open this door, and you can see this leads into the main cargo bay, and we're back into the main cargo bay. And it looks like this is a single access panel thing. You think, oh no, I can't do much, but in fact, here's the main door to get in. It's this panel just here on the right hand side, quite well hidden, and you can just close that away or open it as you get on board, and then you've got another quick way to move around. So there we go, the Mercury Star Runner. It's a nifty little cool ship, and I'd been kind of a bit meh on this one, if I'm honest. I was looking forward to seeing it and seeing what they'd done with it, but it wasn't really something that sparked my interest, because, you know, my main love is for the Carrack and the 890, because they're probably going to be the two main ships that I feature on throughout my playing of Star Citizen. But I have to admit, the MSR, ever since I've seen what it can do, has really grown on me. I love that it's got the little secret deck that you can run around and sneak around, and I'm sure is going to be many play games and you know, ship conquests and hide and seek between organizations and things like that. I think that's very cool. But overall, I'm quite impressed with the little ship. I've heard, seeing as I haven't really flown it that much yet, that it's got quite a few shield holes and things like that to fix, but that's what playtesting is for. That's why we test. But yeah, it has surprised me with how well this has actually been done so far. So I'm really looking forward to the changes. Hopefully they don't nerf too many things about it, because that tends to happen a lot with these ships. They tend to be a bit overpowered to begin with, and then they kind of get nerfed. Not into the ground, but they do get a bit whacked about with the nerf bat a bit. But there we go, the Mercury Star Runner, or the Crusader Mercury Star Runner, I should say, because now the groundwork is laid for other Crusader ships, such as the Hercules, as I'm sure is going to please many people, so they can lift tanks and drop those massive nuclear bombs that the I think it's the A2 of the Hercules Starlifter can do, because that's the military version with many weapons. And of course the Starlifter, which seems to have faded into the background and been forgotten about, bless it. So yeah, the design principles, much like the 600i was used for the 890 jump and the new 300 and 100 series and so on for Origin, is now here. So they have their design standard for the Crusader line of ships. We'll have to see what they do with them. But yeah, there we go. It's been the new patch, PTU. PTU is open now. If you own the Star Runner, you can go and fly it. I believe there is a test of the Aerospace Expo event for this year in the PTU at the minute, which means you can go and rent the Starlifter for 24 hours if you don't own it, so that you'll be able to go and fly it. I'm not 100% sure on the details of that. You may have to just double check that yourself, but I know it is a thing that they are going to do before the main IAE event. But of course, during the IAE event, you will be able to go and use this for 24 hours anyway. That's how they do it, so that they entice people into the game. But so, yeah. Let me know what you think. The Crusader Mercury Star Runner. Another very cool ship to add to the roster, and a little bit of a different one with its cool little Millennium Falcon hidey holes. So, thank you all very much for watching, and I will hope to see you all next time. Take care.